Hello and welcome back to Dial H for Heroclix. I'm your host, Kalder and Ian. This episode, we have some phenomenal special guests on. I am joined by Bill DeRoche and Matt Reed on this incredibly special Ian-less episode of Dial H for Heroclix. This is episode 539. Howdy, howdy. Let's get rowdy.
Do you really wanna click save?
Leadership,
Roll a six, make a move extreme.
token up,
Taking action from your team. I go straight to your start, hypersonic speed.
roll a 5,
Getting brave, hitting blades, claws, fangs.
KO,
Stick and move, click a few just to hit a stop. Need a 3 CCE on a flurry close.
tear your dials apart.
Once the timer starts, do you really wanna click save? What's going up must come down. Do you really wanna click save? Baby, you gotta bounce. Find the word to soon become. You're the best, the judge is wrong, but you mastermind the damage on. Roll your dice for initiative, son.
Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. Make sure you check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Use code DIAL5 for 5% off your Cool Stuff Inc. order, and you can go to shop.whizkids.com. Use code DIALH10 for 10% off your order over there. Not usable with certain promotions, iconics, and other potential pre-order products. Joining me in the studio is, like I said, Bill. What's going on, Bill?
You know, it was a long drive to Omaha, but it was a pleasant drive.
I'm glad you made it to the studio. I hope it was everything you've dreamed and so much more.
It was a lot of open space, but, you know, it worked out okay.
It's the way it goes. And then, of course, Matt Reed is joining us. What's up, Matt?
Oh, not much. It's so spacious here in the studio.
Yeah, you like it? It's, I was
Yeah.
hoping it would be roomy. We have to accommodate a lot of people nowadays, so I'm glad
pretty big.
not
It's-
claustrophobic.
The hot tub is still cooking from last time I was here. I respect it.
Hot tub. You
the
got
hot tub
invited to the
stays.
hot tub. Wow.
I mean,
We just haven't
I'm in
been
a
out
separate
there yet,
room right now,
Matt.
Matt. Just
You'll
get
see
ready.
it.
The hot tub streaming, I see.
See it in
I
a
see you
second.
and Ian are really branching out.
We've
Ian
been
is
leveling
secretly
up.
in the hot tub.
We've been leveling up the space. Yeah, Ian actually, the only reason he's not on is he's like, man, I just don't want to get out of the hot tub right now. So that's
Yeah,
actually the only reason Ian's not here.
It's going to get pruny.
All right, guys, let's go around. Let's do some minor introductions, names, how long you've been playing for, et cetera, kind of what your favorite piece is. And then maybe we'll do a little, then finish off with what made you happy this week. Sound good. Bill, why don't you start? Introduce yourself to the cast. You've been on a few times, but just as a refresher for the folks at home.
I've been playing regularly since 2020, and I'd say my favorite piece, even though I didn't, through unfortunate circumstances, get to play him at Worlds, would be Prime Kingpin, the one that does the benefits for the 30-point characters. You can make them attack again. I'd say it's my favorite piece.
Why don't you kind of, I guess, how does the community may or may not know you, Bill? Because we'll get to it.
I'd say
in a little bit.
if anybody knows me, the most likely thing they would know me for would be that I am the one who is doing the ELO stats for Dial H. And I mean, so far, seems like people are having a positive reception to them. And I think that's really cool that people are interested in me trying to rank stuff. Obviously, it's not official in any way, but I have a lot of pleasure doing it. It's fun. It's a labor of love.
Right on. And then what made you happy this week, Bill?
I'd say what made me happy this week was playing some silver matches, getting ready for states with some members of the Discord. Some of their builds maybe didn't make me happy because there were some of them that were a little nasty, but it was a good time.
Okay, right on.
Practicing. I mean, great times.
Right. Well, sweet. Matt, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us how long you've been playing for, and what your current favorite piece is.
So, I've been playing since it'll be 2019. Yep, that would be it. And what a good time to get into it right before it gets shut down and becomes hard to play. But had a lot of fun and stuck with it. And favorite piece right now currently, I think Man Thing is super sweet. I think he's super strong. And
The super rare, just next phase man thing.
yes, yeah. The one that bounces around. It's incredible. I actually like the other man thing too. The Prime black and white one. I think he's kind of cool, but I haven't been playing him as much. I actually don't have him, but he looks cool on paper.
I think the Prime is so cool. I mean, obviously both are just really fun, but I really enjoy the Prime. And then
Well, now,
Matt, how might the community know you? What accolades does Matt Reed have?
I would say people know me from Master Mold.
That's right.
From playing probably Master Mold all last year, or I guess we considered last year a World's rotation. So since he's now in the past, but yeah, playing that, played it to an extent that I probably could play it in my sleep. I think that's all I played last year. So a lot of fun. Made my brain hurt because there's so many decisions to make, and it's sometimes
3 figures on my team or 4 figures on my team is really tough.
Yeah, but you got to think of what do you want to bring in with 150 points. Do you want 6 Scott Porters? What do you want, Calder? You got so many things to choose from. So hard.
6 Scott Porters is pretty tempting. It's pretty dang tempting. And
but then you got Phoenix Sentinel that could be 75 of that, and then you could have 3 Scott Porters. See, that's the problem.
Decisions.
And then you get the random Prime Nimrod that's only 35 points, so it really screws up having to figure out how you're going to make that fit into 75 points because you got 5 left over.
Right.
See?
You're right. Wow, Matt. You know what? I didn't think about all the different aspects. And
there you go. Now that you've been opened to it.
Matt, and what made you happy this last week, my man?
Man, getting into the Halloween spirit. We've been watching a lot of, shows and lots of movies. I love Halloween. My birthday's on Halloween. I work a haunted house every weekend in Salem Springs, Arkansas. The Warehouse of Fear. So I work that on Fridays and Saturdays.
Warehouse of Fear. How has the haunted? I don't know. How has it been? How was your haunted house
last
so far
weekend? We had 1,000 people go through.
Jeez.
And that was in 2 nights.
As a weekend is what? Friday, Saturday?
Friday, Saturday. We do not do anything Sunday. We just do Friday, Saturdays. And then actually what's happening right now, on Thursdays, we're doing a non-scare night for anybody that has little kids that want to come in, but they don't want to get super scared.
What is a non-scare night?
So we have all the lights on.
Out at them?
We have no actors. All the actors in each room has candy, and there's no actual dress up. They're just people in our normal T-shirts, and all the lights are on. No animatronics are on, and you can just go in and see all the props. I showed Calder whenever he came down. We have a lot of props from movies and TV shows. We have the sign from True Detective Season 2, the hotel sign that's actually in one of our sets.
Can you say what prop from history, and not even a prop, what real thing from history you have there?
Oh, it's one of the Civil War generals' horses. Gosh, I'm going to get it wrong. It's not Jackson. It's another one. But either way, he was one of his personal horses that he had taxidermy.
You said it was Robert E. Lee's horse.
I think that might have been right. It wasn't Jackson. Like I said, it's one of the main guys from back in the day. So it was in a museum. The museum was shutting down.
Like, why is that here? What do you mean?
And it was shutting down. They had an auction because they just needed to pay some bills. So they sold his carriage and also both of his horses. And my parents were able to bid and actually win one of the taxidermy's horses. And it's actually in one of our sets in our stable. And he's been there or she's been there, I don't know what it really was, for a long time. And Calder got to see it up close. And so if you go to the non-scare nights, we have signs up and it tells you what the prop's from and where it is. And kids come in and they can not be as, it's still a little creepy. We still have our props out, but they get to go in and see everything without having to be scared to death.
Kind of like a mini museum walkthrough, a fun little...
It is. I mean, we have a lot of things from TV shows and stuff like that my parents just go around and collect at auctions and stuff like that. Lots of things from Branson. If you guys have been to Silver Dollar City, we actually have the piano that self-plays from Branson in our haunted house that plays as people come in.
Branson is really cool. I went there a few years ago, and I absolutely adore Branson. I think it's a great little tourist trap of a town that's just got all these little fun little attractions and stuff to check out. So,
if you blast. What is the other big one? Dog Soldiers. Have you ever seen that movie?
I have not. No.
Dog Soldiers was it's a horror movie about werewolves, and it was actually helped directed by one of our former mayors here in Siloam, and he has lended us a werewolf that he had from a prop from the movie. And it stands about 6 or 8 feet tall. It's pretty tall, and it's a prop from the movie that came out.
Well, that's dang. That's pretty dang cool.
So.
All right, guys, let's kind of get into some fun bits of the show here, but what is everybody playing with? I know we alluded to favorite figures right now, but what are some upcoming tournaments that you two are building with? And just kind of, whatever, riff. I personally, so like right now, obviously, my big thing has been like the Jefferson bomb. I'm huge on it.
It's so good.
Fun. I've practiced against a few people with it now. Yeah, I'm currently undefeated with that team, but like
it's so dirty. I was not ready for it.
So dirty. It's so.
I mean, it's dirty good. Like
it is. It is a little dirty. I mean, yeah. Like I don't make any attack rolls, and I can just nuke a bunch of things off your team. Like
there's so many things that just die with 3 clicks. I mean, to be honest, and I was just trying something, and it's good to try against something like this because somebody's going to play it because it is good, and 3 damage is enough to kill a lot of things right now on a 300 modern team.
Oh, and I guess I instantly lied. It is not undefeated because then you played your 200-point Kong team, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know how I'm getting through this.
Yeah, but it's kind of it's not. I don't think it's for the long run.
I don't know how well that team holds up. Yeah, in the long run, that one's a little tough. Tough, but
I like that team a lot.
Right now, I have I think 2 in-store championships I want to try to go to up in South Dakota, and I want to say both are 300 modern right now, and then of course 400 silver states is coming up, and probably like many people, I have not practiced at all for states, and I've not built a 400 silver team yet at all. Kind of just gonna wing it, just kind of see what happens. I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Now, Calder, do you know? Is this where the championship Deadpool comes into play? I don't know. I know that was announced. Is that part of states or?
No, there should be in-store championships that are happening for your store that have a Deadpool. So the store itself buys a championship Deadpool kit.
And has that already been going out? Just so I know to go in.
Yes, they have been. As far as people have been.
I need to get on to my people.
Yeah, you got to tell them to organize. Tell them to organize an event. But yeah, no, that's been out, and like that's what I'm going to go to. It's like totally separate from states.
Cool.
But
myself, I would say that I'm looking at silver pretty much exclusively right now, and that's what I'm building towards. And I'm trying to build I don't know. I just want to build around Zala. I like Zala, and I'm not sure exactly what the final build is going to be, but I like it. You gotta love being able to get all the way across the map and then bring something. It's just very good. It's very fun. And I haven't decided on it. Practicing in the Discord, $5 a month. You get to practice too. It is something that I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I want to figure it out. I've not gotten there yet, though.
So every iteration of any silver build you had has had Zala on it, or have you like went outside of her yet?
No, it's just she's on the build regardless
she's staying.
What I'm gonna do.
It's just all been Alpha Strike, or what's kind of the style of stuff you've been trying to
Well, I mean, you can do something like you can do Butterfly and only put her on if you're going first, right? And then you don't have to Alpha Strike with it. But in general, yes, it's an Alpha Strike build.
Okay. What's the major player you team up with her? What's like a fun strategy? I don't think anybody is going to hard counter you unless you don't want to talk about it.
You know what I'm a big fan of? Darkseid from Batman Team Up, who does the mission points where if you knock someone back, and it's real easy to get people across the map and then just knock people back and just get free points. I mean, this is not going to be exactly shocking to anybody who's building silver right now. Mission points are pretty scary because they're very easy to get.
They seem wildly strong right now, with them just being considered victory points. I'm really not a fan of that at all. And I'm pro mission points till the day I die. But them just being instant victory points for you is just so scary. Like, we kind of saw it a little bit last night. You're playing against somebody who got like instant victory points and then just pulled up the entire game.
You're right, Kalder. I played a game last night against somebody in the Discord, and that person in the Discord killed one of my figures and won. Because they were able to get a ton of mission points, aka which became victory points, even though they weren't killing figures. They killed a single figure and they won the game. Because they were able to hide in a corner, and it wasn't great. Would you like to call them out?
Heroclix. Call them out real quick,
I mean, he knows who he is. That's all I can say.
Ethan knows who he is.
Ethan knows who he is. Oh, yeah, I know.
Ethan does know who he is, and he actually was the person who hid in a corner and killed one of my figures and won the game.
Ethan, sleep with one eye open tonight.
That was a valid strategy. It's like, yeah, okay, we know, Ethan. We know.
Sleep with one eye open, Ethan.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
gosh. For you.
Matt, what's an event that you're building for that you're looking forward to?
One that's coming up right now is at Metagames Unlimited. It's Springfield, Missouri. We got a 300 modern winter break happening that I'm playing, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to be running a little double man thing, KO build, and I call it the little Rocky build because, I told Kalder, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and then keep going. So this rings true with this one. It seems like it's so tanky. The man things are just ridiculous. I mean, they're so strong if you can't see through stealth to shoot them. I mean, you're trying to punch a 21. And they hit like Mack trucks whenever they use terrain in actions. So definitely can't fault the team. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think for silver, though, if I'm going to play silver, and I know Master Mold's like the thing that everybody probably wants me to play, I don't know if I have it in me to bang my head around and try to do that. I actually I'm thinking about doing a simpler thing with Phoenix Wolverine. I'm kind of interested in playing him as this is actually an X-Men team, maybe, kind of, sort of, with APOC and Genesis. So that way he gets an extra rollout on blades. So.
That blades rollout is amazing.
I mean, and the cool thing about it is it makes Wolverine so much better, where you just roll blades every time, because your minimum with Genesis is always one more than your printed, so he's hitting a minimum 6 top dial. And if you happen to get positioned between 8 people, you're hitting a minimum or a maximum of, I think, 14. Yeah, 14.
There you go. In one.
I think that's
silver.
I think them being silver, man, it's so ugh.
So yeah, you're making them an X-Men, and then I put a Porter on there, a Black Shirt Porter, just to give him a little bit of support and a little bit of an extra roll on D6s. So, but I was just thinking, this is so simple. I saw people play it at Worlds. It's so easy just to move one figure around and have to, hey, deal with this, and it's hard to deal with unless there's things in silver, of course, that I'm probably not going to know, and they're probably just going to absolutely wreck it. So
that is pretty much my expectation. Like, if I'm going to try to build something fun, try to build something cool. I kind of want to play like Devil Dinosaur from Spear Foes of Spider-Man like really badly. As like,
I don't even know what that does. There's so many things.
Well, I mean, it's easy. So I'll tell you this, listener, and I guess you guys. Even though I've been playing since like before Silver Age was even a thing, right? Before they changed the cards to be what they look like, what you guys would consider the normal cards before the card changed last year. Before they changed cards to be silver, Spirit Foe Spider-Man was the first silver set. I remember being excited, and that was a good set. It was a super fun set. But like, even though I've seen literally every single silver set, and I've lived through and played through every single like version of the meta since 2016 to now, it still does not. It still doesn't help me all that much when it comes to like all the craziness that you can just pull out of kind of seemingly nowhere with like silver, because the way things interact, that just goes back and changes so many things. It's kind of crazy. It's like if you remember a few years ago when JLU came out, the 10 cakes like Lex Luthor could do an infinite with the black glove demon. but this is like only in Bronze Age because Black Glove Demon is from like 2012, the Batman or Streets of Gotham set or whatever it was. So it's like, who thinks, this character gets to do this automatic attack? I'll somehow remember all the way back to 2011, 2012, where this character that was so incredibly forgettable and bad at the time, but he can just make an infinite amount of attacks. Wow, perfect. It's like, how do some people genuinely, how do you even think about that? Unless you're just literally scrolling through just every single set to try to get that. Like, that is kind of how it feels when some people pull up with these silver combos. It's like, but why?
Isn't there an Iron Fist that does infinite attacks too? I heard something about that. There's a Shang-Chi that does infinite attacks. So there's a Shang-Chi that is like power action. You make an attack, your damage is locked at 1, you have precision strike. And every time you make an attack, you modify your attack value -1. After that, he's a 12, so we would go down to a 9, rule of 3, right? Wow.
If you outsiders him, he can just stay at 12. So like, that's pretty easy. But yeah, so like that was a thing. So he was actually an ID card call. Matt, do you ever play with ID cards?
I played with them for a hot second, and then they rotated out.
So yeah, like that Shang-Chi was an ID card call-in. So what you would do is you would call him in, you would use 25-point Nightwing from World's Finest, because he was the cheapest outsider. You would outsider Shang-Chi, you would call in Nightwing right next to their, main guy, 200-point whatever, and then you would make like 11 attacks or whatever it, I guess, takes to get to his first KO click, basically. Just one little attack at a time, have a prob, perplex his defense down a bunch, right? So his 12 matters a little bit more. Et cetera, et cetera. Like, that Shang-Chi was nasty. I loved him. Don't get me wrong. I use him as call him. He's good.
When does it stop the attack? Like, if you miss, it stops?
Once you miss.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you miss an attack, it stops. Or the character is, dead. Or you can no longer make attacks, right?
Yeah. I gotcha.
So, yeah.
Don't like that.
Shang-Chi was pretty crazy.
You said this Devil Dinosaur. I'm looking at him. Was this guy meta back in the day?
He was. So, yeah. So, Devil Dinosaur, when he first came out, I know you're looking at him and you're like, dude, he's so bad.
I mean, it's just 1 damage is kind of good. It's going to take a lot of hits.
Right. So, back then, things were not as easily killable as they were nowadays. So, around the 2016 is Devil Dinosaur. When he came out, it was like, geez, dude, I've got to hit this guy at least, 1...
Yeah, 7 clicks of life.
Three times. So I have to hit him at least 3 times to get him off all of his stop clicks, to get him on click number 4. And then he still has invulnerability that I've got to punch him past that far in the game. And yeah, so even though he's slow, but he made these bystanders, and all of his bystanders were really, really actually pretty strong. And he power action made 3 of them, and they were within 3 squares of line of fire. So the fact that he could sidestep, drop them forward 3 squares, and then they could go do something was just really solid. Because his bystanders, like the Rockabilly Modocs, had running shot Pensai, some had pulse wave, others were charge blades. They were good bystanders the Devil Dinosaur dropped. And then him just being, a high points, takes damage so super, super slowly. It was just really good. Really, really good.
Pretty sick.
So he saw a lot of play on past teams. With
sad,
Zatanna Zatara, who had this double perplex. Yeah, what, man?
I mean, he just dies to our little golden boy, Colossus, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just sad.
He gets nuked to Colossus. Yeah.
It's just sad.
No, he's not good anymore. He was great back then.
I thought you meant that he had some crazy interaction even now in Silver.
No, I'm just saying I just want to play him.
I gotcha.
He's one of my favorite pieces ever.
It is pretty cool. I mean, it's a dinosaur.
Yeah, he's dinosaur. He's got a little smoking jacket. He's got a little gun. He's hilarious. That's Devil Dinosaur. What?
I do love a smoking jacket. It is my style.
Yeah. Is it really, Bill?
I mean, come on. I'm old. I love a smoking
That is true.
Bill hasn't been playing as long. What's an off
jacket?
What's a silver piece that you don't think it like this Devil Dinosaur? Something interesting.
You know what I always want to make work is the Cosmic Clash Doctor Doom. I know that's on brand for me, but
no, I'm gonna have to flick this.
I think he's good though. I think I can make him good in silver. I'm not actually on my team right now, but I am running Cosmic, which means I could put him on there because he is Cosmic.
You are the Doom boy, right?
So I am big Doom fan. He can actually shut off powers that are protected out wit too, which is good. And like I said, I want to run Zala, so I could make Zala go all the way across the map, put him over there, have him do his thing where he just shuts off a power and hits again. I mean, it can be good. I've thought about it.
Calder's anything in silver that's a Hulk that has any that's good.
Hulk? I mean,
like
there's the Mighty Thor Hulk.
Well,
that's pretty classic.
The Prime Hulk is now
he is silver.
Now, so he's now silver, yeah. So
it's true.
Amazing.
I was just thinking if something old that I missed from 2019, like past 2019, that I should.
I mean, the Mighty Thor starter Hulk, he's pretty classic. So he has a trait which is when Hulk moves after resolutions, he can use Quake at no cost.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like what you would do is you just basically had a bunch of different ways to like, so he does one move action, right? And then you can give him like sidestep, and then you can well, I guess actually does this interaction still work? Can't remember if it's like stuck in silver or not, but oh my gosh, what was his name? Korath. So this is an old team. Matt, I guess you never knew about this team. This team ruled. This team was
I never heard about this.
So I played this back in Worlds of 2019. This was like a legal team, and ironically, the funny thing about it was the thing was that you played on small maps. Was like the weird thing that you did in this like side tournament.
Were there small maps?
Yeah, I mean there were battle royale maps. So
got you.
You played a BR map. So
you could play those. When did that change?
No. You couldn't play it. Like this was a side tournament. The side tournament in Worlds 2019, where specifically you played on a small map, on a battle royale map, which was just like unheard of, crazy talk at the time, obviously. And so here was the team. So like that Hulk, I already told you. Every time he moves, he gets to Quake, right? Not Quake is free, just Quake.
Oh my gosh! Is there a way to just keep moving this guy?
Quake at no cost. Yeah. So you would use Korath the Pursuer. Korath has, when a friendly character that's adjacent or has the Creek keyword hits, after resolutions, that character may move 1 square. So what you did was you made Hulk a giant with Wasp part of the Avengers, or you can make Korath tiny, but like obviously you want Hulk to have giant reach 3. So you made Hulk a giant, and then he carried Korath the 10 squares up. He leap climbed 10 squares, quaked out the 3. If he hit, he would then get a move 1 square, and because he moved, he got a Quake again, and you just got to keep doing that until their team died.
Interesting. And there used to be single target Quake, right?
Yes.
Back in the day,
yeah.
Where you could actually do printed
Quake for 4. Yep. Especially during this era, you could. Yeah. So and it was an expensive team to run because Korath 75 points, Hulk is 50 points, Wasp part of the Avengers is 50 points. So you're all in on this like Hulk.
Now Calder,
setting him out.
Explain to me this. You got 100 points. Who would ever pay the 100 points to get a 9 attack? This is just absurd.
No, you don't. No, you play the 50 point. You play the 50 point line.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's just a crazy stat line.
Well, he's not angry yet, Matt. He gets angrier. It's the Hulk. You know the Hulk.
I know this, but he has Invincible as a defense power. So I don't understand how.
I guess that's fair enough.
But either way, so I guess now you add Dark Phoenix, right? I guess. Wait, are they banned?
Dark Phoenix is banned in Silver.
Okay, so you can't make the extra brute movement on that.
You cannot.
No, Dark Phoenix is not banned in Silver.
No, I'm talking about the MOE one.
Oh, the MOE, right. The MOE Dark Phoenix, the one he was talking about, Bill, is banned.
Yeah. Well, either way, that's pretty cool. Billy. I like it. More I know.
That was a seriously fun. I don't know if it works necessarily anymore. Maybe a listener will write in and say, "Calder, that's all wrong. It doesn't work anymore for these reasons."
I mean, you're only doing 2 now because, unfortunately, like you said, I know that single target would be absolutely devastating.
Single target Quake for 4 on all these people, and I mean, there's still ways to give this Hulk Battle Fury in Silver. There's still ways to give him Precision Strike in Silver. Like, you can still make him a menace. Like, if you want to just Quake a bunch of people Precision Strike over and over and over again, pretty dang good.
Pretty sick. Good. Well, I'm glad we went on this tangent.
And there's an easier way to make him big, actually. You use Ant-Man.
Oh, that's right. There's like Ant-Man in Silver. Legacy.
Yeah, and that is Silver, yeah.
Crazy.
Beautiful. I mean, just hilarious how these things work. Yeah, 25 points. Now it's half the cost of Wasp part of the Avengers. That's silly, but yeah. See? This rules. So there's some goofy stuff in Silver. And yeah, you can think back to some old fun like Silver teams and try to like make some stuff work out. But like it is fun. It is just I don't know. It'll be a really wild format. I'll be really curious to see what my locals like cook up for our states, what everybody's kind of dealing with, what everybody's kind of playing with. We have a lot of newer guys, so I don't expect any crazy Silver nonsense. But sometimes when we play Golden or just Silver Age, they'll pull up some old stuff, and I'll be like, all right, Had to dust this guy off, huh? All right.
I couldn't even
cool.
imagine what Golden looks like. I just
Golden's really scary. Golden's got some favorites though. I like, depending on what's legal in Golden, I don't know what like Bronze Age, I guess, is like the most official version of Golden that they have out in California. I don't remember what their current ban list is or their current tweaks to things are, but obviously like Avengers Quinjet, it used to be really strong. My favorite like Golden Age team ever is the Subterfuge Lex Luthor call-in battery, where you can't target him unless you began the turn adjacent to him. So you borderline never target this guy because you would always give him the Book of Sin or whatever.
I could have swore you were going to say the zombie base.
Oh, I mean, the zombie base is up there too. Well, the problem with zombie base is they have fundamentally changed team bases. So now I only get one action at 300 points.
Oh,
it's for every 200 points. Back when it was one action for every 100 points, and the team base got to do 3 things for 1 power action. And one of those things was power action drop off 3 insanely strong figures that could then all like heal like that super easily. I just dropped off Super Skull on your face and I pulse waved you, gave you all tokens. I have a ton of food token. Yeah, back when it was that way. Back when team bases were broken, absolutely. But now that they only can do 1 action per every 200 points, they're way, way slower, and I can only really play them in like a 400-point game. Because
were team bases a menace even back whenever they were like modern legal?
Oh my gosh, they were. Team bases were an absolute menace. I think the 2015-2016 World or National Championship was like both zombie team base. It must have been 2015 because 2016 I guess they'd been rotated. But like, yeah, zombie team base was like
it was solved. The meta was solved at that point.
I don't know if it was completely solved. That seems. But I wasn't paying as much attention to the game as I am now.
Yeah.
Back in 2015, so I don't know if it was completely solved, but yeah, that was like one of the main teams you played. The meta was like solved when like Felix Faust first came out. Then it was just like, oh, duh, just what different flavor of Faust team do you play? And like that was it.
Was it really that bad? I know everyone who didn't play during that time about the D20 Felix Faust. Was it really that?
What do you mean? Yeah, so
I wasn't there.
On the 3 different, this is a great episode so far. I just get a rant about. I feel like old man screams at cloud right now. So D20 Faust. So you would use the Omega Drive, you use Ophidian, and then you would use Greed. And I don't fully remember exactly how this all interacts, but basically on his dice, the powers on his dice are powers. Okay, he has 4 of them that say opposing characters can only take move actions, they can only take range actions, they can only take close actions or power actions, right? So then you basically change it to like move or something. Or actually, no, sorry, you would make it close. And you would get within 4 squares of them. That was the effect. 4 or 6, couldn't remember. It was the effect of the dice. And yeah, if some old person is listening to this and I'm getting this wrong, I'm sorry. And then I forget exactly how it works, but you would equip Greed. He could automatically start with a relic, and that was the Omega Drive. The Omega Drive says you can outwit anything at all times, period. Right? And then Ophidian, man, I better just check and make sure this is right.
Mm-hmm.
Ophidian said, any power you outwitted, you can use. I really want to say that's how it is. So basically, you outwit a friendly character, Felix Faust. His power that says opposing characters can only be given close actions. And then now that you have outwitted that, you can just use that power. And now you're within 6 or 4 squares or whatever of an opposing team. And so they can just always automatically, you literally don't even have to worry about, rolling the dice ever. Because all you do is just say, okay, I outwit his thing. And then now you just can't do anything.
Interesting.
That sounds lovely.
Fun interactions.
If that is exactly how it was played, I don't fully remember. But because there's also just old teams where you used to be able to re-roll the dice. So you just have like 30 probs on a team until you got like the result you wanted. So you like score some points, re-roll the dice a million times to just keep locking down the opponent's team. And basically the Felix Faust meta at that point, because I don't think it was as solved at that point as I kind of like, that's like the most min-max version of it, where it's just like, I literally just shut down your team by doing nothing. Right. I think maybe before that, and Paris would know, because this is how Paris Gordon won Worlds, was with Felix Faust. So he would know properly exactly how that meta was played, because again, I wasn't paying as much attention at the time. But it was closer to, I try to kill something of yours, and then I reroll my dice a million times to get the result I want. Is what I think is probably closer to what it actually is.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that's any other old meta questions we have, gentlemen? Any other eras I can enlighten you fellas on? Have either of you played against Unimind?
I have not.
Keep it that way. Unimind sucks.
I've heard it's bad.
Yeah, dude. Unimind's awful. I will never, ever play Unimind. I've only lost to Unimind once. Every single time after that, I've always beaten Unimind because it was instantly personal. I knew like, wow, this is a scumbag figure. This figure is not fun to play against. This figure is annoying. This figure is kind of BS. What do I have to do? Just rotate this dude's dial. And then it was super easy to get into that groove. And it was just like, all right, I just kill this guy. Just clean this guy's clock every game.
So those who are going to play in Silver States, though, Unimind is legal, correct?
Unimind is legal, I believe, yes.
Is he that bad, though? I think we have enough things that are modern.
The worst part is, I don't even think he is that bad anymore.
But cool. Hey, that means that we've eliminated that. The power creep is real.
Bill, I think now is a great time to let us reflect. We've mentioned some great players. We've mentioned some great Heroclix. People have been wanting to know, and by people, I mean most people have forgotten this is a thing because it's been so slow. And that's your fault. And that's your fault.
Sure.
Except I know it's not. Bill, why don't you tell us about the updated 2024 ELO rankings post Worlds? So obviously there's a huge shakeup. We have not been able to see the ELO rankings at all yet after Worlds. So let's give it to us.
There's been a bit of a gap between Worlds and us releasing the actual rankings, and unfortunately, I can't do a true ranking, and I apologize to anybody who actually cares. If you want to see what your ranking is, I can't really do it because Worlds had some interesting stuff that went down, and the data isn't complete. If you were there, I guess you know, and it didn't go down how we would want it to, so I had to just go ahead and estimate exactly how I thought it would go if I had all the data. So we have two separate tabs now on the actual ELO sheet of confirmed data and then estimated data. And the result, you can just click on it yourself and decide what you want. I had the majority of the data that I would want, but not all of it. And I did the best that I could. And what we have now is, I guess what I would call I'm going to confirm the pre-Worlds as just being the actual final rankings, and then I have the estimated where this is what I think would have happened if I had been able to actually calculate Worlds, but I wasn't able to. And you'll see in the link, we've got the actual estimated and the actual regular. And so I'll just say the actual non-estimated is combined ELO. If you combine silver and modern, 300 modern together, you got Lucas 1, and then 300 modern Daniel 1, and then silver Lucas 1. And we'll call it that. You guys can see the link in the actual podcast if you want to look at everything, but that's how it is. I wish I could have actually done everything, but I was not able to, unfortunately. Stuff beyond my control.
So what I'm looking at here, estimated 300 modern ELO, right?
Yep.
That's just kind of you saying this is roughly what they scored during, what's it called?
So,
Swiss.
I mean, Kalder, I know every person who was in the top 64, how many points they scored total in their Swiss matches, and I know what they actually did in the post Swiss, after cut. What I don't know is what their opponents scored, because for whatever reason the app actually deleted that data, and therefore I cannot give a true elo. Like, I know who they played. I know who. We'll just use Dan Powell as an example. I know who Dan Powell played each round in Swiss and in Top 64. I know I know how many points Dan Powell scored total across all the games he played, but I don't know the individual games he played. Like, as in, he could have scored, we'll say he scored 300 points in game 1, and then he scored 150 points in game 2. We're making this up because I don't actually know. I don't know that data. I know he played player X, but I don't know how many points player X scored against him. Therefore, I can't actually give the true elo. I can get close, but I can't actually give the real score, which is why I decided it had to be a separate actual tab on the elo, because it's not fair, because it could be slightly different. I don't know if that makes sense to people that are listening. I hope it does.
Sounds very rough, and it sounds more complicated than I could ever figure out. So, good on you for taking it on.
Matt, sure. I mean, it's work, but it's fun.
Your definition of fun's a little different than mine.
Slightly, yeah. I was about to say, looking at spreadsheets is not exactly my favorite thing in the world to do.
Well, I do it all the time, and all I can say is I just didn't feel comfortable releasing it. I thought about it for a while. There's a reason why we haven't seen it. You know, it should have come out closely after Worlds, but I didn't know what to do, and I just decided on this. I wish I could have actually given the true actual end rankings, but I can't. And so maybe this is what I think it would have been, but we'll never know. And so we have the end rankings and the theoretical rankings.
So going forward, like 2025, etc., obviously, duh. Mm-hmm. How can you, I guess, kind of police that this doesn't quite happen? Like, what can we get the most genuine rankings using? What's been the best system so far for what you've scraped scores from to get these like proper rankings for people? Is I guess what I'm trying to say.
That's a very good question, Calder. I would say there is no best way to do it. All I need is please just tell me what a player scored and what they gave up. That's all I need. It's not that complicated. But unfortunately, they didn't do it at Worlds. And I don't know. Like I said earlier, if you were there, you know, it was a little rough. And stuff happened. And I'm hoping, and I've heard good things about HC units and what they're going to do. The win, by the way, works perfectly fine.
It's the HC units has worked really good at our local venue. I mean, we're only running like 6 people, but it seems like it needs no fixes. It seems to know the pairings pretty well. We haven't had to repair people because they've gone already against each other, which is kind of a win problem we've seen.
Okay, but that's good. And
I've been pretty impressed.
I mean, I can deal with the win too. If I'm trying to, like, if you want your tournament to count towards these rankings, the win still works. I mean, I've used it plenty of times, and it gives me what I need, which is who played who and what the actual score of the game was, who scored what. That's cool. And the win's fine, but what went down with Worlds wasn't perfect, and unfortunately, I had to estimate it as best I could. And that's why I had to put it in 2 separate tabs on that spreadsheet, but it's cool. And hopefully going forward, we get it all figured out. And in 2025, it won't be an issue. That's the hope. I will say that post-rotation, all tournaments post-rotation are just going to be considered part of the 2025 ELO. So the Indianapolis tournament, for instance, is coming up, or the one that is in what is it in Calder? Remind me.
I'm sorry.
It's a state right next to you.
For sorry, say it again. Which state? I know you don't know which state, but like which one? Oklahoma.
It's
South Dakota.
Nope.
Minnesota.
That's not
Iowa.
right next to you.
Iowa.
There we go. There we go.
Close
I
enough.
apologize to everybody that lives in Iowa, the Hawkeye
Dude,
state.
you should apologize to them anyways. They have to live there. That's the toughest thing about. I'll go on the record right now and just say Iowa. Sorry,
so
guys,
Indiana, the Hoosier state, your tournament will be placed into the 2025 ELO. We're rebooting right now after cut. So same to you that in Iowa. Congratulations. So begins the 2025 ELO. 2024 ELO is done.
Because it's all post-Worlds, right? That is the Heroclix year, right? As soon as Worlds
I felt
is
like
over,
once we did cut, what was the point of saying it's the same ELO? Because
the rotation's all different.
Completely different. Yeah, it's completely different figures. So why not?
That makes more than enough sense to me. Absolutely.
So, I mean, I apologize to everybody that I couldn't exactly get the perfect thing that I wanted, but the real world sometimes gets in the way of what we all want.
Wow. I guess you can say that again. Shoot. Good talk, Bill. I'm glad we got that info out there, though. I am excited that people can kind of pour over it. I hope it's fine. Hopefully close enough. Works for a handful of folks. I think it's still pretty cool. I think the Rush Estimate is still really awesome. And I know it's like a ton of work that you do for nothing. So I think it's really cool that it's just like a fun passion project. And I hope a lot of people can get a lot of joy out of it because I do think it's a blast. And I like checking in the ELO. I've told you throughout the year, I never actually did it, but I said, man, I kind of want to play more games, get my ELO up and everything. It's really fun. Still never did that, but it was still fun. But it was still a blast. So I really like it. And I just want to say thanks for all the work you've been doing, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple of questions for the show in our Discord. And if you want to join the Discord, like how these two fine gentlemen have joined Dial H for Heroclix Discord, you can join for as little as really $1 a month, but you can join it for as little as $5 a month in order to get access to the Discord and all the great benefits that our Patreon has to offer. Our Discord, like we've talked about on the show so far, people are always joining in general, just chatting, having a good time, talking clicks, talking whatever. There's people always asking for some fun pickup games. We have one of the best Discord communities out there. I absolutely love our community. Everybody's super cool, understanding, and chill. It's pretty dang awesome. And it's also a great way to go ahead and support Dial H for Heroclix while you're at it. So our questions start with Tyler M. GameStop now accepts cards to send off for grading. Will Dial H Podcast start a rival grading company so we can start grading Clicks cards? Also, is that a top tier baller move to play a full graded team? Tyler, it is a top tier baller move to play a completely graded Heroclix team. Obviously, that'd be insanely baller. Will we start a grading company? Absolutely not. Ian and I are not qualified and will not be starting a grading company, but it's pretty cool. Would you guys play an all graded team if you could, if that was the thing?
Graded just your card, your ability card, right? I mean,
the ability card,
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Or maybe you could put the little figure in a plastic case.
I think the figure's the nicest looking thing. I don't know if our cards are not like artwork filled.
No, our
anything.
cards aren't really sought after. Like,
I mean, they're not
other games. Cards are like the main thing. So yeah,
No,
miniature is like
I'm
the
all
main
in.
thing.
Man,
You're all
There
in.
it is.
Let's give me
There it is.
a 10. Give me a 10 on my cards. Let's do it. How much is it going to cost? Put them in a little slab. I'm in.
There it
10.0.
is.
Monster.
Wesley asks, what do you expect to see played most, and what will define the new meta at the Red, White, and Clicks event? So Red, White, and Clicks event is going to be a 300 modern event coming up. I think if they're, like, I guess, Bill, you have the data from Iowa, this most recent Ethan Jacobs event in Iowa. I'm kind of curious because
So
I guess
they didn't
whatever.
play it. So they didn't play it
Did
like
they not
it was a three team thing, right? Where they did.
Oh, did they not have just a 300 modern?
No, they didn't do it like
then
that.
I don't know. Okay.
So I don't really have that.
Interesting.
So it was like teams 300 modern.
They did teams 3. So they did. It was three people teams, And then they did. Let's see if I can find it.
No, it's cool.
I
I was just curious to say, like, because you would be the one person who I know would have looked at the data and would have looked at like where teams are had they played 300 Modern. But I guess since they didn't, it's kind of null and void.
It was just
how I
one
was going
person
to
on
ask.
a team did 300
Oh,
Modern,
sure.
and then the rest was like the other stuff. So it didn't work out like that.
I'll say, I don't know, you guys expect to be played like a ton in 300 Modern. I do just think overall, past and mystical, Ian and I have talked about this. I think those are the strongest keywords right now, so some form of that. I still think we see a lot of Prime Colossus get played. Obviously, I do think Master Time shakes up the meta kind of insanely. I think we're going to see a ton of Flash Raptor get played. I think he deserves to. I think as far as like meta staples, Wesley kind of goes on to ask, I think, yes, there needs to be a clarification for like Black Panther and Despero and sideline elements in the beginning of the game and effects and all that jazz. But I feel like Legacy card Black Panther is just like a must on so many teams.
Yeah.
Just being able to say, hey, those two
About
things
it.
can't leave the sideline. You're SOL, bud. That's crazy strong. So
I
that's
still
kind of
think,
what I think is big.
Butterfly,
Modern.
no matter what, is going to be
Oh,
on a
yeah.
lot of teams because it's just so many options to transform it into, and you don't get the points until you kill the butterfly after it comes off the sideline. So it's kind of a pseudo stop click. So I think Mern, I know everybody's talking about Mern. It's just and Kale, they kind of do the same thing of no stats.
Yep. I mean, Mern is amazing just because you can see through everyone, even if you don't carry him with you, which is crazy. Kind of.
Yeah, he's just staying in your back line. You don't have to do nothing.
Yeah, it
crazy.
probably should be the same as the way his, like, you can't modify, where you have to carry him with you
Mm-hmm.
in order to make him have that effect.
It's strong.
Megat goes on to ask, so Ian has mentioned that he thinks Flash Raptor is an errata waiting to happen. Are you guys able to go over the best ways you're able to damage non-mystical characters, and what are the best ways to abuse his ability without Chthon? If it is genuinely a problem, you should spread the word enough. So now that I've gotten to see more Diana gameplay, I don't think Flash Raptor is as busted. I do think he's still busted, and I still like him more. I'll also say straight up, I don't think I've made it apparent enough on the podcast. I don't like Diana at all. 0% do not care for that figure. So anyone that comments saying, "Oh, you should play her instead of Flash Raptor," etc., please remove yourself from my immediate space. I have no tolerance for Diana. She will not be ever touching a game board of mine for no reason other than I don't want to waste 15 points on a motorcycle. I would just rather use Flash, and I just think Flash is just so much better. Like,
I didn't realize that you didn't have to have a target for the attack.
Yeah, you don't have to have a target, which is good. Don't get me wrong. That is good.
It's just ridiculous that that's an actual thing, though.
Absolutely ridiculous. That's been a problem in Heroclix for so long. No, I'm not doing that either.
Zala
Not doing
good
that either.
though.
I'm gonna be honest.
Zala
If
good.
you're having the giant dinosaur Flash Raptor is pretty sick. I mean, it's a sick figure. to put on the-
Giant Dinosaur doesn't die easily. 50-50 super senses. Dude's got normal shape change. Guy hits you with precision strike. Okay, next attack he quakes your entire team with the precision strike quake, pinging everybody for 1. Are you kidding? Yeah, I'm gonna take that 10 times out of 10 over Diana and Zala. Not even a contest. Not even an errant
you got
thought
yourself a
in my
hater here.
brain that it would go any other way.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't like Diana. It's so easy to kill. She has one
Exactly.
purpose,
Thank you.
and she is gone.
And the rule
I do
of
think
cool,
that it's
always
decided
wins
that
out.
Diana is worse than Zala represent.
Yeah, I mean,
If you have the opportunity to put something big on the table, I think it shows off so well,
take it.
and it makes it look so cool.
I will say that, like, ever since the Jurassic League's come out and like Kong and a few other Colossals, and like now that Colossals are like being played more, they're getting introduced more. I have had more people be like, "What's that?"
Yeah,
And
no.
that's just great. I love to see that. Like random people at the comic book store being like, "Oh, what is this game you guys are playing? What are these things?" Oh, Heroclix, I haven't heard of that in a while. Or Heroclix, I don't know what that is. Tell me about it.
Galactus was a looking piece, dude. Whenever people first got that thing and had it like sitting on the side of the table, even though it wasn't even on the board.
Yeah, but he was there. But he's there,
and it looks thick. I mean, it's the super tall figure that could be put on the freaking map. I mean, it gets attention.
Yeah. And then Luke goes on to say, which Dial H Discord member is most in need of a legacy card? Ooh, which one of you guys really needs a legacy card?
Wait, what's the question?
I think I have a pretty good answer. So he's saying which Dial H Discord, it's a bit of a meta question here, Matt.
Okay.
Which Dial H Discord member is in most need of a legacy card? So basically, like, who's a Dial H Discord member who's maybe fallen off a little bit in recent years?
Oh,
He needs a legacy card. You know what I mean? That's kind of what he's. Do you kind of see what I'm saying?
interesting. Who's going first?
I think I have an answer. I think Chance McCall needs to up his game. I think he needs a legacy card bad.
Getting back into Modern.
I think so. He's been staying in the pulp leagues. He's been too scared to join the Modern race.
What's Bill thinking? Bill said he had an answer.
I do have an answer. My actual answer is, in fact, Luke. And the reason why is Luke makes cards. I mean, we've all seen the cards that he makes for like Worlds every year, right? So, and they're awesome.
Seen them? We've seen them.
Cool. So my theory is that Luke would get a legacy card in which he would be able to legacy card any figure he wants off the sideline.
Oh, okay, that's very creative. I actually like that.
So it's like okay, Luke. Your legacy card gets like minus. We'll pick a random minus 25 points, and he gets +1 to all like combat values. And like Luke just says you get to pick somebody off during force construction or whatever, right? He gets to do that, and he just picks any figure you want, and he just comes them in, and he just legacy cards them. Boom.
That's pretty cool. Matt, do you have an answer? Have you?
Yeah, let's just throw a little shade. I think Bill needs a legacy card.
Wow.
He didn't show up the Worlds. Made me real sad. I was thinking he needs to get back into Modern.
That's facts. Okay. Someone needs to legacy Bill and remove his Earthbound neutralize, because this dude doesn't go. And Bill, you have like traded immobile as far as I'm concerned. Like, this dude never leaves his house. Maybe to go to the grocery store or something. I don't even know, man.
Yeah, we wanted to see him real bad.
You need to show up. You didn't like, I didn't go to Michigan States, whatever. I don't even care. Yeah, I'll say it.
And the worst part is I deserve it. I deserve it. It's fine.
There we go.
Maybe I'll I know, guys, like all year long. Yeah, going to Worlds.
Get ready. Get ready for the motorcycle
2 weeks, a week and a half before. Oh man, guys, I can't. And like, I'm not trying to be unsympathetic to your situation or whatever, but just saying, I would like to see a little less talk and a lot more action. Is what I would like to say.
Just get the message in Discord saying I can't be on your team.
A little less talk, a little more action.
Oh,
sure, you get it.
Just cut us deep. Me and Luke just got cut deep.
You guys did. They had to
you stuck us with Simeon. Oh.
Whoa. Simeon is a nice man. All right.
I mean, he was our captain. He did get the captain hat. That was supposed to be yours, though. That was your crown.
Captain. Simeon was a good captain.
Do you actually think it would have been any better if it had been me? I mean, right?
I don't know.
Probably objectively worse had Bill been captain.
There we go. I respect that. No, it's the honesty. I can respect the honesty.
Ah, good. There we go. We got Bill in Modern again. Let's get him legacied.
Let's get him in there. Megan asks, do you think they should legacy old equipment? Taking it a step further, should they legacy relics, ID cards, feats, ATAs, resources? ATAs never really, like, a lot of them never existed, so you can't really legacy those. I don't think re-releasing ATAs would make a lot of sense. I think ATAs have kind of come back in the form of shared traits, so I don't think those don't need to be legacied. I think just going forward, keeping that in mind is cool. Old equipment, it seems like that's what they're hinting at.
Yeah, that was the thing on Flash,
right?
Yeah,
hold on to your rings. I think that's so. If they do more than the lantern rings, I would be very excited. There's a lot of old equipment that I would love to see come back, but again, legacy usually means some form of twist or the essence of it is still there. It's very rarely is it actually like 1-to-1. This is just back, which is what I feel like a lot of people when they think of a legacy card, they just kind of think, oh, 1-to-1, this character is back, but that's almost never the case. Like, not really. So they usually get pretty decently tweaked, at least for the most part, they do, right? So I would love to have the Venom harness back. That's my all-time favorite equipment.
Yeah, that was the one.
Pretty sick. Get +1 stats, Battle Fury, roll d6, take some damage. Maybe. It might be something else. I don't know what they would potentially change it to, but yeah, it's kind of an iffy thing if they like resources or do equipment.
Hawk arms back, that's pretty
right.
Good little Flurry back in.
Flurry. I don't want Flurry back in the game. Oh,
was the Mjolnir? Wasn't that the one that was a big deal? You can make a close attack from
your range.
Yeah, from your range. Crazy.
Well, Mjolnir might be coming up in a question we have in a second.
Very true. Very true. He does end it with saying, should resources be back? And it's like, although resources looked pretty, I think by and large, people can accept that resources were kind of bad for the game of Heroclix. And I loved playing them. Don't get me wrong. I loved playing resources, but I would not want to stack on that extra complexity onto the game already. Next question from Megat. How do you feel if they release something similar to a chase boosters as prizing, but they call it meta boosters, and they just give pieces that are or would be very important to the meta in that booster, right? For example, it would be like Carnage Surfer, the grand prizes like APOC Genesis, or even older figures like Prime Jakeem Thunder. I think there's no way of knowing. Like, I think to an extent you can probably know what's going to be popular, what's going to be meta. But I think if you're even ever slightly wrong, and you think, oh, this is like a meta character, and then it's in one of your meta boosters, then it's instantly, you're like, it's completely ruined, whatever. So I think while you can probably say at WizKids, like, yeah, I know this is going to be a great piece, or I know this is going to be and I feel like that's also kind of admitting, yeah, we just know we made some really garbage pieces, so here are the good ones.
Yeah.
That's kind of a wild product to stamp off on.
I agree.
Actually, that.
I think that it's a no, because you don't actually know what is going to be good, right? I mean, it's just okay. You think it's good, and maybe it's not. So you can't do that ahead of time. They obviously have to print the figures, right?
Right.
And put them in these boxes and whatever. Like, nah, I don't think it works.
I mean, the problem is the company, I'm sure, is small enough that makes these cards, and they can't know what 1,000 people know. That whenever you put it out is going to make it busted, whether it's in silver. Like you said, we just talked about silver. There's so many things in silver, but I mean, I don't think all the WizKids employees can know exactly what every silver figure is and make sure the interaction with it's going to be crazy or not.
Right.
It's so hard. I mean, I think it's a good deal, like I said, with the silver not ban list, but they're just doing like a bench, until they figure out if it's going to be a problem. I mean, but there's just no way that they could say, yeah, these are good figures and not. I mean, you can't make every figure good. You can't make your common as good as the chases. Everything's going to have a, power up from
rarity. There's just a certain level of just, the more complex something is.
I mean, who knew that Shadu is going for $70?
That's so wild that she's $70. She's good. Don't get me wrong. After playing against her and Ian and I talking about her, like, yeah, she's insanely strong. She really is.
$70. It just
for super rare, a $70 super rare.
I mean,
that's wild.
The Man Things is $60.
That's different. He shares a rarity as an alt rarity with the super rare prime. We've known in the past that alt rarity super rare primes kind of share weird distributions, and they're hard.
So I'm guessing Darkseid just because it's Darkseid.
Darkseid is mostly just because he's Darkseid, right? I don't think he's any specific.
This is this is just something to say. If you can find a brick of it, you pretty much make your money back off the daggum Masters of the Time bricks. There's so many hits in that thing that can make you some money just from the dinosaurs and everything.
Oh yeah,
it's
an
like
awesome set.
It's the best set to buy into. I mean, you hit a Constantine, that's $50. You hit Shadu for some reason, you get $70 out of just that, and it's not even your chase if you get one.
Right. I mean, even with chases, okay, you get Harley Quinn, you get King Jefferson,
50,
you can get Zola, Diana. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many winner chases. What are the bad ones? Kal-El and Bat Prince. Those are really objectively the two like cheaper, like lower end. I mean, geez, you get Green Man. Like, okay, I make money.
Green Man's like the new hotness.
Yeah. So like all the chases are so usable. And so, like, good, we're really, there's only, like, 2-3 bum chase. Not to mention, okay, an ultra chase, which is just always worth a lot.
Oh, yeah. I actually forget that that's in there. But It's like,
Isn't it crazy?
It's Superman though. It's not even the one I'm excited about.
No.
So it's like, oh, I actually forgot that was in there. Actually, I was like, when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, there is a Ultra Chase in this set.
It's crazy that like a set can be so strong that you forget there's an Ultra Chase in it. It's basically
It's
how
so good.
Master of Time feels, where it's like, oh yeah, like what's the dinosaur? Geez, all the primes. Black Lantern Swamp Thing, I just made $200. I actually did just make $200 selling a Black Lantern.
That is ridiculous. Yeah,
That's
you hit
insane.
that.
That's awesome.
You know what the funny thing is? I actually thought Prime Beetle was going to be the Prime to get, and it's not the case. It's not. I don't think anybody's even talking about Prime Beetle, and I thought that was the most broken thing ever. But no.
Well, let's be honest here, though. There might be some way to break the Ultra Chase. I mean, maybe no one's found it yet, but it might happen, and that would
more
be
power
crazy.
to them.
I mean, someone might find it. It's not impossible.
It's just too much. I mean, it's just Superman. I don't think I'll ever feel the Superman.
No.
I'm kind of on Calder's boat on that one.
That's what I love to see, man.
I mean, and Calder does love Constantine. It was one of the best movies ever.
I think
we both agree on this, right?
Yep, there you go. Matt, no. No. One truth and a lie.
Oh dang. Oh, yeah, he loves Superman.
No, Matt, no. Two truths and a lie.
Okay. Go ahead. Continue.
2 lies and a truth. Excuse me, 2 lies and a truth.
He's so confused. I broke his brain.
You got me. Oh.
Good stuff.
Stop. Megat then asks, what is morality, at least in Heroclix? What makes a good meta team versus a bad meta team? I think this is very interesting. The obvious answer is whatever I play is a fun, cool, that's the way you should play the meta. And then whatever I don't like playing against, that's gross, cringe, that's horrible. You should never play the meta like that. That's the easy answer. I think no, but like a real answer is I think something that's like more so unique. So any team that uses a level of creativity that's not like boiled down to a lot of the same figures, I think that's like a quote unquote like good meta team, right? So being creative. I think people aren't creative enough by and large. I do feel that way. So like when the meta kind of boiled down to, oh, I play like Prime Spider-Man, I play Kong, play like, XYZ Porter, MOE. Sorry, Alex Mater, that's your but like that was like this is very boring. Is it tried and true? Is it all very effective? Yes. But is it very boring? Also yes. I think a lot of tent poles are pretty toxic. I don't care for tent poles. I think we can kind of agree that like Grand APOC, not Grand, whatever.
But Grand Prize.
Legacy APOC.
Legacy.
I think like Legacy APOC is like a toxic style of team play, and I'm not like condemning people playing these. I'm just saying like that is not a team that I would ever play, and I don't think it's fun to play against. You know what I mean? I think point denial teams in general, and obviously you don't want to give up points. you want to give up as little points as possible and get as many points from your opponent as possible. But things like Unimind, things like point denial tent poles, those are very unfun to play against. I think kind of teams where you don't interact with your opponent, a lot of mission point teams, sadly, even though I think mission points are cool, a lot of mission point teams that are very uninteractive with your opponent, I think are very like quote unquote like bad or in against the spirit of the game kind of teams. I especially thought this is one of my least favorite teams ever. And again, no offense to the people that played it, because I get it. You want to be effective. You want to win. If the goal is still to win. The like Scarlet Witch dropping a rune in their starting area and they're just being like, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to turtle up. You just come to me. And it's like, that is so lame. That is such a lame way to play the game. So anything that's, I guess, very uninteractive with your opponent, I inherently heavily dislike. And I don't care for kind of those style of teams. Kind of the ones I just laid out. Not a big fan. I think Alpha Strike teams are great. I really like a big, I'm going to get in your face, so let's just start bashing. I love a good Alpha Strike glass cannon team. Those are my favorite kind of teams to play. Absolutely love it. That's kind of my favorite. So yeah, rant over. What do you guys think of the question? What do you make of it?
I mean, I think the cool thing about Heroclix is your off-the-wall team that you come up with can actually do really good. I mean, the Poison Ivy team was the talk of the town as soon as it won a tournament out of nowhere, and then it's got to be fun to be the person that came up with this team, played it, won the whole thing, and now you get it to the point where everybody thinks that figure should be banned because it was something that no one prepared for. And I think that's just kind of cool. I mean, I'm the same way. I think every team has its ups and downs. I mean, I know that you can optimize everything. I mean, heck, when I'm in the Discord, talking with people, I'll play the team or do a team, and it either does stuff or it absolutely gets wiped out. And then guess what? Either play it more and see if it's better, or move on to something different. But if there's a figure I like, I just kind of go with it. I mean, I stuck out Little Monster, and I thought that was a fun team. I got to beat Miles Kane whenever we met up at Worlds, and he just wasn't ready for the old slingshot. And I like playing off the wall things, and I think that I don't think you're necessarily just going to lose just because you do that. I think you are at a disadvantage of not just playing the tried and trues, but it's a dice game. You never know what could go your way. That's the kind of cool thing.
Bill, thoughts, opinions, concerns, questions, comments?
I would answer Lastico's question as there is no morality, and build whatever you want to build, as long as it is legal. Go ahead and build it.
Okay. Wow.
If we're talking about competitive, F it. You don't play competitive to have fun. Competitive, is
really towing the line of our PG-13 rating with that F it. Bill, let's calm down here. Let's calm down.
I did have a coach that said if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So maybe pushing an extra 10 points on a.
I don't know if I love that. Put an extra.
Just say, figure it out, boys. Yeah. Did you see that I had an extra 10 points? Too bad. I already won. You didn't call it. Next game.
Yep, exactly. Oh boy. Lastico knows. He loves it when I call him Lastico, by the way.
Jeez.
Seriously, just play what you're gonna play. I don't care if it's illegal. It's legal. If it's competitive, I don't care. Otherwise, if you're playing for fun with your friends, which is actually the most fun way to play Heroclix, then don't do dumb stuff. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, when you play for fun with your friends, it's just kind of like, are we all on the same wavelength?
It's commander rules, right? This is a 10. This is my level 10 team, and this is my level 5 team.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had that kind of speech.
I don't even know what that means. I just know that's the thing that they do.
Good, it is. Yeah. Speaking, I guess, of Commander of Magic, he says thoughts on the Marvel Magic cards. They're cool. I'm going to get like 3 versions of the Captain America set that's coming out. That's just really sick. So like Marvel and Magic, their collab is finally happening. Still I've only played a handful of Magic. I still don't like it. Just purely because, I don't like fantasy. I don't like the content of their card game. Probably a fine card game, but I don't care about if you build a blue deck, if I build a black deck, it's red, whatever. But the Marvel stuff looks cool, and I'm going to buy a bunch of the Captain America stuff.
It's going to be super good art. I mean, that's one thing you can't knock them.
It's awesome.
They're going to have the best artwork on cards. And high quality.
So, if that's what Magic was, if Magic was just a Marvel or DC guard game, then I would actually enjoy it. I would like it. But because it's Elf Butterspoon Whippersnap, I tap him for 15 damage points. It's just I don't want to play that game. That game sounds miserable. That sounds awful. But if it's if it's Captain America and sure, Black Panther, Wolverine, Storm, that's
all I need to know is who let that character out of the cage? Whoever this Magic player is.
I know. Exactly. I agree.
Give me Dr. Doom, and we're all good.
There it is. I will say, I would like to see WizKids do another Captain America thing. Magic was hey, this is Captain America's Secret Lair, and this is all just Captain America stuff. I'm like, I will like to see some Captain America stuff.
It's going to be double collectible. I mean, because people collect Magic cards and people collect Marvel cards.
Yeah,
so
Marvel cards. Yeah.
I guarantee you it's going to have some value in there. Just having it.
Absolutely. Luke then asks, can we put Maggot on question probation until he gets his grades up or something? And I agree, yes. So we will now no longer be answering any more Maggot questions.
I will live go ahead and put a little emoji on this. Boom. Do it.
And just kidding. Maggot then asks, WizKids releases a Batmite or Mr. Mixia Spitlick character. Would they work like the gods and avatars? I don't want to see any more gods and avatars, if I'm being honest, in HeroClix. I am god and avatared out as far as sideline, this character gets this. I'm A-okay. I will
say I like how you can't also now put them on for 10 points. And
yes,
they're just you have to have the actual keyword. I think that's much better.
Supercab asks, With WizKids collaborating with Magic the Gathering for keychains and minifigs, what are the chances we'll see a Magic and Heroclix? What Magic characters would you like to see in the game? Like I said, I don't want to see Bimble, Bobble, Thorn, Whippersnapper in the game of Heroclix. I heavily.
We're gonna get D&D.
I don't know the single name of a Magic character. Okay, that's a lie. Sorry. The only Magic character that I want in Heroclix is the Evil Dead Secret Lair. That's the only Magic anything I want in Heroclix.
He's found his way back into Evil Dead in Heroclix.
I want to see Ash Williams in Heroclix. That is my ride or die. The only thing I've ever wanted since I was a wee little lad. I just want Ash Williams, like Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness stuff, Ash vs. Evil Dead, all of it. Give me Evil Dead in Heroclix. That's the only Magic anything that I would want in Heroclix, because we already have Marvel.
I'm going to go with Living Artifact. Let's go.
There you go.
Bill Living Artifact forever.
Megat asks, do we need absolute Batman in Clicks? I say yes. I think, why not? Like a fun alternate version of a character, Absolute Batman has garnered so far a lot of traction in the media of people hating or disliking or loving.
Looks sick from the cover.
The idea, yeah, he does look sick, right? So I would love to see the Absolutes be like a convention pack. I would love to see them be a chase theme or just like a super
That'd actually be sick. Just
super rares and rares. Yeah, how cool would that be? So the Absolute Trinity, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman that have come out so far, that would be pretty cool. All their costumes are very different from their normal costumes, and they all act different, which means they get to do different things. It's not just a Batman that sits in stealth and then charges and punches you and outwits you. You know what I mean? It's not a Superman that just either has hypersonic super strength or running shot laser eyes or whatever, right? We get more unique it's not the 18 millionth Wonder Woman that does Charge Blade's lasso special. I'm so tired of a Wonder Woman just literally being, I have charge, I have blades, and I have a lasso special. And it's that's been it feels like 90% of Wonder Woman have been that way since the Wonder Woman site came out. So Absolute is a great way to be these are more violent versions of the characters, or these are, characters that all have a little twist, right? Which is really cool. So I would absolutely love to see Absolute in HeroClix. May then asks, what clicks in your opinion is the most, wow, is this allowed? This is way too toxic or whatever. My answer is Felix Faust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we've already talked about how bad that one is, and I would agree if it's anything like you said, I don't think I would have fun.
Now,
answering
okay.
Lastico, I would say your Indigo 1 build that I played against the other night, didn't like it. So I'm going to put that on there.
He then asks, so this is now post me saying, hey, everybody, Bill and Matt are going to be on. And then he asks, thoughts on cardio. I assume that's pointed towards Matt.
I mean, I would say the only cardio I would do is moving weights at lighter weights more, or hit training. I don't think, I don't want to do running on a treadmill. I don't want to do a mile. That's just not the type of lifting I like. I'm sure it has benefits for other things. If you're
heart health's pretty cool.
I mean, heart health is great. I mean, that's what hit training actually has more benefits than doing long distance running. So,
Old Man Howlett asks, what is the largest opposing Magic deck, sleeved and or unsleeved, that Bat Reed could rip in half? Okay.
52 cards is what we normally do in a deck of cards that we rip. I don't
60.
How many?
I think they're not as firm as a regular card. I think 60 would be easier for you.
As long as it's the same as a regular deck. I've never held
thicker.
Magic cards.
Magic cards are pretty much thicker. I'm pretty sure playing cards are kind of thin.
I guess I'm used to going with the plastic cards. That's how I play poker.
The biggest thing in this whole thing would be sleeved. So sleeves is going to make it
rip sleeves, right?
Sleeves are plastic, so it's going to make it way harder to shear them. You could probably do one. I don't know if I've never held one of the PSA graded ones
from the top or something where you can.
No, it's side. So you just cup you got to get.
But I'm saying with the sleeve though, wouldn't it be hard to bust to the seam at the side?
Oh, you wouldn't be able to do it. You'd have to rip each one of those plastic pieces. It would be near impossible.
Yeah.
So I would say my buddy, JD Anderson, probably could even do more than I can. He one-ups me by being able to rip a deck of 52 in his mouth. So,
dang.
Yeah.
Strong teeth.
Yeah, strong teeth.
Good bones. How much would it cost to enter you in a tournament, Matt, to just do that, to then rip somebody's deck?
Oh, gosh.
What would you accept?
I mean, What am I looking at? I'm looking at owing a lot of money because I know some of these cards are stupid expensive to whoever I'm about to do it to. So I don't know. Give me the average cost of a Magic deck plus an extra 500. I'll never be invited back, but I was never going to begin with.
There it is. We know the price.
So that's a good point. My brother-in-law is a big Magic the Gathering player, and he has a deck that he likes to play that every single card, including lands, are foil.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was like, this deck is like $2,500.
Jeez.
I would love to have you rip it in half. I mean, I think it would be hilarious.
You said your brother?
Gonna have $2,200.
My brother-in-law. But yes.
Oh, then it's totally chill. Oh, if it's your brother-in-law, that's totally chill. He's not like really your brother,
dude.
I mean, he's not actually family, so it's fine.
So this is just me putting in the question, and the craziest thing is, here's the swing. The cheapest deck. It says the average deck can be as cheap as $20. Or as expensive as $50,000.
Oh my gosh.
That is the swing between. So average deck is in between that, right? I don't know how that actually. You're the math man, Bill.
I mean,
how is that big of a swing?
Magic either. He's a Magic competitive player. I mean, I know. Shake my head right now, but he is.
Yeah.
I mean, 50,000.
He said his deck was like 20. He said his deck was like 2,500.
No, I'm just saying there are
though.
people that play decks that are 50,000, and that just seems irresponsible.
Yeah, yikes.
Yes.
I mean, if you love it.
I mean, you love it.
We
Yeah,
don't
you're
have
right.
that in Heroclix.
Old Man Howlett asks, does Bill actually live near the 12.9 kilometer, or is he repping 8 Mile from the Canadian side? Either answer is a yes, by the way.
So, regardless of Simeon, by the way, Simeon, we miss you. Regardless of, like, what he thinks, I had to look this up, and so they actually cut it off at 14 Mile. I know everyone's like, oh, so-and-so, like you live in 8 Mile near Detroit. They cut it actually off at 14 Mile in terms of when you actually do the mile counter. I live 8 miles from 8 Mile, which is amazing. So,
Wow.
Simeon,
Did you
I
plan
live
that? Did you plan that?
I wish I could have planned that, Kalder, when I bought my house years ago, but no, I didn't. I live exactly, well, not exactly, but close to 8 miles from 8 Mile. So that's what Simeon would have to know. How long does it take me to actually drive to 8 Mile? Like 15 minutes. So if that makes you think that, like, that makes me live in a hood area, it doesn't. There's plenty of nice areas around Detroit, around 8 Mile. I know you want to watch the movies like 8 Mile with M&M, but it's not really that bad. I mean, there are plenty of spots on 8 Mile where houses are very nice, and it is what it is, but I live about 8 miles from 8 Mile.
Incredible. Will Holland asks, what are the best figures for 400 point silver with Starro and Prime Colossus? Will, I don't know. I'll be honest.
Like I just go back and listen to us before now,
I guess.
talking about all that craziness. I think Starro needs to be
I'd
fixed
say
also.
the number one pick is the other Starro that is not the Legacy card.
Just the natural Starro,
Yeah,
the
just-
normal
you just
100.1
got the
or
Starro
whatever.
on there.
I mean, the Starro answer is you just have to have a 40-point Elsa on the sideline to be able to come in off of a butterfly, because you don't want her on the main force all the time, unfortunately, to stop Starro from going to click 1 and having to deal with that.
Yeah, that's why you want the other max level Starro,
See.
so then they can still do it.
Alex the Enchanter asks, what's your favorite part about being a guest on the show? Is it the Heroclix street cred? Is it getting to talk about something you love? Or is it Ian? Or is it something else? Sadly, I don't know if it can be Ian this episode. We miss you, sweetie. Sweet cheeks. Wherever he is.
Or less spiders when Ian's not here, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I like that.
I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I like getting to talk with everybody. I mean, to be honest, this is pretty much just, I mean, besides us hitting certain points that Calder set out, I mean, this is pretty much what we do when we just hang out in the Discord, is just talk about, random stuff or clicks. So it's always good getting to talk to everybody. I mean, it gets me so much clout, dude. I'm so respected just because I'm guested on this show. So, I mean, pretty cool. Bill, what you think?
Actually, Matt, you beat me to it. I mean, this is just what we do. I mean, honestly, this is like a nightly occurrence on Dial H for Heroclix Discord. And I'm not saying that because I don't get any money from this. Like, it's just the God's honest truth.
Are you not paying Bill?
If you want to hang out in our Discord chat, like, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get something similar to the podcast. We just have fun and talk about building Heroclix teams and talk about random stuff. It's really cool. So I would say you should just go ahead and do it. And I mean,
are you basically implying, Bill, they should go to patreon.com/dialh podcast and join at the very least the $5 tier?
I mean, I'd say minimum $5. If you're not paying at least $5, I mean, you're missing out. You could,
and then you get to hang out in this awesome studio on the couch in person. I mean, it's pretty cool for him to fly us out to do that.
Okay,
I'm just glad it works with your guys' schedules.
Everybody out, right? I mean,
just special people.
Yeah. Obviously, at any point in time, if you were to say, "Hey, Kalder, could you just fly everybody out?"
He sends the private jet, and I just jump right in it, and we're
the Dial H jet, the Dial H for hover jet is what it is.
Oh yes,
has been probably the best resource we bought with Patreon money to this day.
It's all an investment.
It is an investment. It's a great investment.
I'd say the one thing you got to watch out for, if you're going to play anybody besides me, it's not a free win. So just be careful. I mean, if you're doing the actual practice thing, don't actually play anybody but me. Because if you play me, free win, sure. But anybody else, not free win.
They'll put up their dukes. It'll be a really good, hard-fought game. Unless it's Bill, then it's a free win. Is that?
It's a free win.
It's free win.
I want to just really make sure that was very loud.
Calder, is that a free win, just by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, confirmed that's a free win. Okay.
Yeah.
Calder, I've looked at all the games of all time. Everyone knows that. I'm a free win.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Well, guys, thank you so much for hopping on the episode. It's been a pretty dang fun time. We'll have to do it a little more often. I had a blast. Remember, everybody, we plugged the Discord enough, but if you want to also ask questions without being on the Discord, you can send us an email at dialhforheroclix@gmail.com. And then if you want to ask some questions on Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/dialhforheroclix podcast and ask us some questions there. I know we have some questions sitting in our inbox right now, but the episode is running pretty long and I got to go to sleep. And so do all my wonderful guests. So since they've got a flight to catch, I have been your host, Kalder Ness, and Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. Make sure you check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. And of course, check out your Heroclix products at shop.wizkids.com. Any final thoughts and or shout-outs, gentlemen?
I mean, right now we are standing up. The credits are running. We're giving each other, handshakes, bantering, saying something while the credits are going, thanking everybody. It's just a big production here. It's pretty cool. Yeah. They're not hearing what I'm saying right now, right? Because they cut our audio, right?
No, of course not. Yeah, the mics are cut. So if you guys
good.
The mics are cut.
We'll just give us... Yeah,
the mics are cut. Oh, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, because this is when the stuff is scrolling and we're standing up.
Yeah, we're just kind of...
Ethan's stopping into one. That's what I'm going to say after the mics are cut. As long as I know the mics are cut, Ethan, stop playing Indigo 1. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
They can't hear that. So night.
Happy trails.
Yeah, he's on your left. Yeah, he's on. There's a cap. A Captain America. Yeah, he's on your left. Yeah, he's on. There's a shield. And it's on your left. Yeah, he's on your left. Yeah, he's on your left. When he's on your left, he's on your left. He's Captain America on your left.